I'm not gonna stand.
But like, are you ready? All right. We'd like to play a little song before these guys come out. To get you riled up, see if you show them this New Orleans love. Warm the stage up a bit.
I blew a hip on that one, I'm not gonna lie.
I think I ruined everything.
Been doing that jump for 15 years.
It'll catch up with you, Robbie.
Certainly will. I'm 50. All right, let's do this the right way. New Orleans. So please say hello to Jensen Ackles and Padalecki.
Who that?
Guys, gals.
New Orleans.
This is a very dark room and very bright lights. We're being investigated.
Where were you on the evening of January there?
I don't know.
How's everybody doing today?
Or today, I guess.
It is good to almost see your faces.
I see the backs of
Lots
couple
of beautiful silhouettes.
We're right here. Right here.
It's all right.
Hey, that's me!
Found him. Right here. Here's your guy.
Is there a way to slightly dim the lights?
No. Feels good.
I hear it's like
Spotlights.
it's like driving on a moonless night, and then you turn your headlights on, and there are a bunch of animal eyeballs looking at you. I'm like, I know there are people out there, but I don't know.
Where are you driving?
I don't know. The woods. I was in the woods, man. I was in the woods. I don't know what I was doing. I was lost. I lost.
Wait, did you say you're driving in the woods and then you turn your lights on?
Yes.
On a moonless night, which means there's no light coming from anywhere.
Because the light's scary. You'll see things.
Then why do you want to turn them up?
To see the eyeballs.
This is going wonderful. We should probably get some questions before we continue to talk.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out here. I know it's still. I know we still find ourselves in an interesting situation in the midst of a pandemic of some sort, still. So thank you all for coming to see us. And,
Real quick before we get started, I have a special friend here. Can we all just say, "Hey, Michael"? Ready? One. Hey, Michael.
on three.
No, we just did it. We got it.
Hey, Michael.
Fine. It's fine. Sorry, Michael. We probably should have rehearsed that. We didn't, so forgive me.
You didn't say action.
I didn't say it. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, Michael.
You still didn't say action.
No cut.
Hey, Michael. All right, let's go ahead and get some questions. I'll roll it over here first. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Tanya, I'm from Georgia. I was just curious what kind of future projects you want to work on. Not serious or now, but something you want to do in the future.
What kind of pizza project?
Big pigeon project.
Future project.
Feature?
Future.
Yeah, I still like pigeon projects.
That's a good question.
Well, they're big pitches.
It's a great question. I guess I'll start this message.
It was one of the
Well,
I
animals.
like this.
That's one of my pigeon projects.
I don't think like that, I suppose, is the way to say it, which is kind of not answering your question. But I hope to be able to come across future pigeon stories and ideas and books and whatnot and get to be some part of them. But for me, I'm pretty busy right now. My buddy Keegan, who's somewhere over there, can vouch. We're staying pretty, we're in the grind. So there's nothing offhand. Yeah, thank you. But yeah. So for me, it's sort of if something comes around that I'm excited about, and they are excited about my involvement somehow or another, then I'd love to be a part of it.
Well, this one here has lassoed me into coming on to Walker. I was supposed to be directing. Is Naveen still doing it right now, or is he finished? Okay, so I was supposed to have done directed an episode the last couple of weeks, but we kicked it down the road a little bit. So in February, I'll be yelling action and cut to this guy, and hopefully he actually remembers what that is. So,
I never really knew.
I never really promises. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. So we'll kick off the new year with being back on set, and I think this will. I think it times out to where I think my last day of filming is actually my birthday, and I said, well, it just seems right that I spend another birthday on set with Jared Padalecki. So that'll happen.
Yeah, 2005, March 1st, his birthday.
We were the pilot.
Yeah, so 17 years later, still going strong. Thanks a bunch.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
I'm Mandy from New York.
What's the name?
Mandy.
Mandy from New York?
Yep.
Hi.
Hi. So I actually found a radio company before I started watching Supernatural. I actually have not finished the series yet. So I was going
How far along are you?
15.5.
Oh, well, that's pretty good.
Almost.
I thought you were going to be like third season.
Third season.
I'm halfway through the pilot.
I got
You're
the
gonna
bugs.
get jumped.
I got the bugs and stopped.
Do you know what happens?
I do.
Okay.
Thank you, TikTok, for,
Yeah.
fancy like that. I mean, that was a bonus. So I was going to ask you what your favorite radio company sound performance, but my husband's like, you're at the Supernatural convention, so you should just ask them to rate each other on an asshole scale for filming and your relationships. I don't know. I just realized how
Rate each other.
It does change the question. It does change the answer.
Largely, yes.
Largely, what is that supposed to mean?
It's a scale.
It is just.
Is it a large scale?
I'm gonna go ahead and answer the rate question, just to try and
Why?
steer the ship. So we're rating each other. Okay.
It's still unclear as to what kind of scale we're talking about. What was on
Asshole
what?
scale.
A what?
I'm gonna answer what I think the question was. Well, let me know if I'm wrong. I will say, having known this guy for a long, long time and seen him in all sorts of situations, Jensen's not an asshole.
What about your parents?
So,
15% of the crowd was happy with that answer. Everybody else was like, I don't know.
let's be
Agree
honest.
to disagree, Padalecki. I've met the guy.
I think, in fairness, it wasn't 15%, it was like 3% of the crowd. The other 97%.
The other 97% really get me.
He's very passionate about what he does. And it's funny because going back to March 1st, 2005, and going back to Pilot and welcoming a new viewer to the family, a lot, we showed up and I was 22, you were 25, turned 26. And so we were like these 20-something actors on this TV show, we were the leads, and they were very excited about it, the studio and the network. And so a lot of people who were around us would kind of treat us like, oh, these are probably some 20-something-year-old Texan actors who think they're the hot stuff and this and that. And then gradually, I think they realized that we are just very passionate about the characters, the story. And so there are certainly times where, if we're rating each other, where he's had to put his foot down, but everybody around knows he's doing it to protect the story, not to protect himself. He's doing it to protect Dean Winchester, not Jensen Ackles. It was never like, hey, I think this would be cool if this is where I do a somersault. It was like, no, I don't. And there were times where he had to put his foot down. And go like, no, listen, I know Dean, I've been him for several years, and Dean doesn't do this. I can do that, which is similar enough to progress the storyline, but so it was never about being, if you want to talk assholes, I can list some people off the crew and cast.
Please do. Let's do it.
They already know. They've met them. But yeah, he an asshole he is not.
I think it's safe to say that you don't get a working relationship and a personal relationship the way that he and I have had for the past 16 years if one of us was said asshole.
Well, that definitely comes.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mandy from New York. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Melissa from New Orleans.
Hi, Melissa.
Hi. First of all, Jared, I want to say thank you for AKF. I appreciate that so much. But I have a question for Jensen. Being our reigning King Bacchus, can we expect you to get a house down here anytime soon?
Well, being a former king, I assume that I've got houses waiting for me. It's, you said you live in New Orleans, right?
Yes, I do.
Got an extra bedroom?
Of course.
There we go.
Well, you can sleep in it because King gets the big room.
Yes, I will say my wife, who is hiding somewhere here, has been after me to get a place in New Orleans for quite some time. I think she calls this her, it's like her inspirational city. But we haven't pulled the trigger on that just yet, so to be determined.
Well, come on down.
Hey, anytime. I love it here.
Thanks, Melissa.
Thank you.
New Orleans.
Hey there.
Hey y'all. Okay, so I have a kind of a two-part question, one for Jensen, one for Jared. You were just discussing that you were going to be directing Walker, and I'm interested, how difficult do you think it's going to be that when you directed Jared before, he was Sam, and you knew Sam very, very well, so it's probably a little easier to direct him than coming onto a set where you don't necessarily know Cordell. So how hard do you think it'll be to be able to differentiate between that, or do you think you'll just roll right into it? And then Jared, while you have him on set and you are the producer, is there a chance you could possibly talk him into doing a new version of The Eyes of a Ranger and possibly interject that into the show at some point.
Yeah. As producer, I'm hoping I can get him to redo Eye of the Tiger. Just his mighty steed won't be an Impala, it'll be an actual horse. So that's my wish.
What? Oh, yes. To answer your question about what I think it's going to be like for me to come on and direct Jared, I mean, you also have to remember that he didn't just play Sam on Supernatural. He played many different characters and did a phenomenal job at doing that. Even the last episode that I directed was the opening, the teaser. He was playing. It was Lucifer, right? So I was directing. So I directed Jared playing multiple characters. I'm happy to say that I'm excited to make Walker another one of them.
Amen. Thank you. Heather.
Hi, I'm Eloisa, I'm from Italy. Thank you, Jared, for always keep fighting. I said yesterday to meet and greet, but thank you. So my question is for both of you. Can you share like a story about shooting the finale that you haven't shared yet?
No.
Because the alarm is going off. Gosh. Yeah, I don't. It's so funny because when we went back to shoot the finale was September of 2020, and so we spent so much time since we've talked about the show, other than Denver, Charlotte, now here. It's like, what have we said? What have we said in interviews, Zoom calls, whatever? I just remember. Well, maybe I did share some of this, but the barn scene. For those who haven't seen it, there's a scene that happens in a barn in the finale that's very sad. And it was a long scene. It started out with a big fight with a lot of people, and then it went to a part of the scene that was just Sam and Dean after Dean wasn't moving from where he was. And that was just...
Why are you being cryptic about this? Everybody knows.
No, she's on 15.5.
Yeah, but she knows.
Okay. So when Dean got jammed with a rod, was stuck to a wall. When Dean got nailed to the wood.
Thank you, New Orleans. Good night.
That's never happened.
That was actually the day after we shot the fight scene. And so we knew that the fight scene was going to be intensive, and we would do the stunties, then we would do it with us and any combination, wide angles and close angles and turnarounds. And so we all knew, and it was a Friday that we were shooting the stuff with Dean going through his last moments and Sam, when all the vampires had been dispatched. And so that was a really difficult night of sleep between Barn Scene Part 1 and Barn Scene Part 2. And also we had a long time to go through it because we had the script in March. And we had 5 months off for pandemic. And so I would try and go through it and I would cry and I'd be like, okay, I can't go through this too much. I'm just gonna trust that, not trust anything. I knew that Jensen and I would get there and be there, that Bob Singer, who was directing, would give us whatever time we needed to get there and to communicate it, but also not make us do it over and over and over again. A lot of times when you're doing scenes, you'll do it 10, 12, 15, 20 times. And so the barn scene, we didn't do it very often. Like it was kind of like, one and done. Like they would do one size, and if it worked, I'd be like, all right, back to ones, let's tighten up, let's move the cameras, do it again. And so it's almost like, that scene is almost like a live
I
version.
think we probably did, it's maybe like 6 takes in total.
Yeah, total.
Six, 7 takes in total of both our, including all of our coverage, so.
Yeah. It's almost like
It's hard to do, like, it's, after that many takes, it's like, the well kind of dries up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
especially going from where we were when it started to where we were when it finished, and then you've got tears down your face, and it's like, okay, ready to go back to one. Like, what? I can't open my eyes. So it's as close to a live filming of Supernatural as we have in 327 episodes, because we didn't do it over and over and over and over again. We kind of did it and moved on, and did it and moved on, and did it and moved on, and that's a wrap. Go use some Visine and drink some water, because you've gotten rid of all of it through your tear ducts. That's kind of what
I just was sitting there thinking while he was talking about something that I haven't shared about that episode. And, there's 2 quick ones. One, in the fight scene that preceded the death scene, there's a moment where the bad guys grab Dean, pick him up, and slam him on the ground. And we did it the first time, and it was fine. Jared and I have been in fights, and we know how to kind of protect our bodies and stuff when we're getting knocked around. But so the second time, I was like, hey guys, like really, I had 2 stunt guys. I was like, really, like maybe lift me up a little bit, and then slam to the ground. And for whatever reason, I tried to give them a little bit more momentum, so I threw my head up as I went back, and I went up and back, and I just, for some reason, the way my body was, I forgot to tuck my chin, which is what you're supposed to do, because if you don't do that, your head goes whack against the ground, and it was cement, and I almost went out. And I laid there for a second. Immediately, Brad, our camera operator, he put his camera down. He like cut it. He was like, whoa, wait, stop, cut. And
he was saying he heard it.
Yeah, he heard my head slam against and yeah, I was definitely concussed. I like took a moment. I like had to like walk outside, and they did like a concussion test on me, like they do in the NFL. Oh, that's funny?
3% of people just laughed at that.
Yeah. Whatever, fine. I'm an asshole. Okay, got it. So that was one, is that I almost knocked myself out in the fight scene. And then another small one was the driving, when Dean gets to heaven, he's driving the Impala down the road. There's kind of a little bit of a montage. And we shot that largely with a drone, which means that I was just driving by myself, alone, in the car, down a highway. There was a van kind of far in front of me who was controlling the drone, and the drone was just like literally flying around the car. But I just remember in that moment thinking that this was the last time I was going to be driving this car on this series, and it was like a pretty emotional moment for me. And that was something that I think I videoed myself doing it. Maybe one day I'll post that out there. But yeah, that was cool.
Thank you. That's it.
Hey,
Michael from Houston.
how you doing?
How are you doing? So the end scene, obviously the Dean's send-off, how do y'all feel it should have gone instead of what was put out there? And
Really, the barn, or
yes, the barn, how how vampires of all things are the ones to take him out. Like,
I liked it personally. I mean, I mean, believe me when I say it. He and I, and I'm sure y'all and the writers and the fellow cast and crew all thought about it 6 ways from Sunday. For me, part of the poetry of it was what so much of Supernatural had been about for so long, which is, life isn't gonna be the way you hoped it would be. It's not gonna be perfect. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna suck. It's your choice to make the most of it, or to try and gather the silver linings. Not that there was a silver lining, but try and gather what's good and hold on to that, as opposed to, well, it should have been this, or well, it should have been that. And so we had been in so many epic battles, and there was no more epic battle than us versus Chuck in the prior episode. And so having it be something as random as, you know, there's a great line, like you never know when the conversation you had with somebody is going to be the last one you had with that person. You know, there's another thing that he and I have joked about. Well, not joked about, but it makes us more emotional than we probably should. But there's something we read. I got a text notice that at some point in time in your life, for all you parents out there, you're going to put your child down and never pick them up again. You know, and you don't know what it is. You know, you don't know if it's just going to be like, hey, I'm putting them in their car seat, and then not even thinking about it, they start putting themselves in their car seat and climbing down and bucking themselves. And then they're 15, and you're like, well, I'm not going to pick up my son. I can't. And I'm never going to pick. So when was that time? And kind of that very realistic, in a sci-fi show, the very real trope that's available to everybody here who's never been possessed by Lucifer or by Michael, or been reincarnated, or been to heaven and back and hell and back. It's something very real. Like, make the most of what you're going through, even when it sucks. Try and focus on the positive. So I wouldn't change it personally.
Yeah, I think that just as like Jared said, what these guys have gone through has been such an epic journey that I don't think there was going to be any kind of massive epic fight scene that really would have sufficed to be the one that, you know, a Winchester died. I think it had to be something routine like this, and I think it just makes sense that Dean died doing what he loves. You know, how that happened I think it should have been like that. I think for me, and I bumped on it a lot when I first read it. I mean, I think I was expecting some, you know, giant Lord of the Rings style battle, you know, where Dean jumps off the castle wall with a sword, and, you know, that.
And then Nazgul will get you.
Right, yeah. And a dragon swoops in and eats me, like something. I'm just spitballing here. So I knew that wasn't going to happen, nor do I think it would have, you know, there couldn't have been anything in this world that would have been, you know, like that. So I think it had to be this, and I think it made sense. And I was talking about this a little bit in the Gold panel this morning, that I believe that these guys were where they always wanted to be. They had you know, vested God, and you know, Jack was doing his thing, and these guys were now, they had passed the goal line. They were on their victory lap and doing what they love. They were in a routine. They were hunting monsters and living their life the way they wanted to. And I think that was the perfect time for something like this to send Dean on his way. And so I came around to it and really applauded that.
Thanks, Michael.
One more thing, it's holiday season, so what's y'all's favorite pie?
What's that?
Favorite pie since it's holiday season?
Oh, pumpkin pie. I'm a massive pumpkin
All
pie.
right, you gotta do pumpkin.
Yeah.
I also do like apple pie, but
And I'm going to throw you a curveball. Meat pie.
Amen.
Yeah, I haven't tried it. Find a good one.
thanks, brother. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and my question is, who do you think would win an argument between you and your characters?
An argument over what?
Just a random, stupid argument about anything.
I think Sam would beat me in an argument.
I think I would beat Dean in an argument. Because Dean would give up and just want to fight me. And I feel like Jensen would probably try to be more logical about the situation. Be like, hang on, let's break this down, okay? And he'd be like, what? Break what down? I'm gonna break your face. So that's, yeah.
If Jensen would be like, listen, Dean, is that the name, Dean? You've killed dudes? I have not. Like, I'm not interested in being another
I'd be like, Dean, it's Dean, right? Yeah, your fly's on that.
Thank you.
It's like meeting those guys with cauliflower ears. You're like, nope, I'm good. Cool. Hey.
Hi, Bill from the Walnuts again.
Hey, Bill.
So this question is for Jared. So how has the transition been from Supernatural to Walker? And have you pulled any pranks on anyone on second?
The transition started during the pandemic hiatus because, and I mean this without irony or not teasing, it was so difficult to prepare episodes 19 and 20 of Supernatural that I had to put them down. I couldn't read them daily because they would make me cry because I'd be, rehearsing them in my head. I'd be like, oh, and Genevieve would be like, why do you even crying? Because I read the show. And so I did kind of start working.
That's how he cries.
That is a really ugly cry face, as y'all probably know, if you've seen the show. So I had a long time transition. Honest to God, it's been weird because, season 1 of Supernatural all the way to season 15, episode 18 of Supernatural, you see people's faces. And so you're hanging out with them, you're seeing them at craft services, you're having a beer on the weekends. Whereas Walker, because of the protocols that we have to go through for COVID restrictions and regulations, everybody's masked, you have to social distance, and so you can't automatically get to know somebody. Like, I'll see somebody take their mask off 20 feet away to have a drink of water, and I'm like, oh, that's what they look like? It's so strange.
Isn't it true that your brain fills in the mystery?
Yeah.
So that, if you only see somebody with a mask, it's like your brain just automatically fills in what the rest is. Like, I had that on the boys, on Rust, like, somebody put their mask down and take a bite, I'd be like, oh God, that's not, I was way off. Wow. Put that back on, my God. Yeah. Oh, that's a pleasant surprise. Yeah. I had you with a full-on horse face. That's okay.
So I don't know if there are any vampires on the Walker set because I haven't been able to see all their teeth. But I haven't been able to prank yet, again, because you're not supposed to leave stuff in people's trailers that's touched your hands and not there. So it'll get around.
Let me ask you this. Hasn't it been kind of wonderful we've got 15 years of material that we've gotten sick of together.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We have a whole new audience.
Yeah.
How much stuff have you regurgitated?
Oh my God, too much. Except every now and again, there'll be something like, I'll be on set and I'll be like, I promise I'll never die. And look around for somebody to laugh, and I'm like, oh, they weren't part of that discussion. So it's been a double-edged sword for me. Because I'll do some Dumb and Dumber quote, and he'll be like, what's he talking about? Like, what's he doing? I'm like,
I'm trying to think of what's something that somebody says that we immediately make a comment and go, There's so many things. And now I'll hear somebody say that triggers that reaction. I'll be like,
you smell something?
Nah, I just
yeah, but we're having a great time. We're making the most of it, and this too shall pass. So just enjoy. Back to the prior question about the last scene, just make it the most. Focus on the positive. Yeah, there's a lot of positive. So yeah, thanks a lot.
I can't wait to see what the crew thinks when he and I get together. I've been in front of a whole new crew. They're gonna be like, these guys have their own language.
We've already prepared for at least 60% of the crew to leave and be like, I didn't know this is what this shit was about. I gotta get out of here. So yeah, we'll have a good time. Thanks a bunch. Hi there.
Hi there. I'm Catherine from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. And I was wondering, you two gentlemen and the whole Supernatural cast are so gifted and so talented in so many ways. But is there something that you wish you were good at and you're just not?
Everything? Gosh, I wish I spoke more languages. I do. I mean, I barely speak English goodly. So I've always, when I have friends that are bilingual or multilingual and will be in a foreign country, and they just bust into whether it's Italian or French or Spanish, and they're fluent and they're communicative. I'm like, man, that would be cool to be able to talk to somebody in their language so they're not forced to try and figure out a way to communicate with you in your language. And you'll find yourself, you'll be in Italy or something, to go back to our Italian. And somebody Italian is speaking to you in English, and they get one word slightly wrong. They say like, "Oh, was dinner goodly for you?" And you're like, "Goodly." That's not. I'm like, I don't speak Italian at all, and they're communicating. I'm like, "Goodly." They said goodly. I'm like, oh shit. They speak English better, far better than I speak Italian. But no, I guess I wish I was better at I love to travel. I think we all enjoy traveling when possible. So I wish I could kind of communicate more readily with the people I'm around.
I'll teach you Spanish. Well, hola.
Muy bien, gracias. No entiendo, lo siento.
I feel like I'm like surface decent at a lot of things, and I wish that I was, like guitar. Like I can play a few things on the guitar, but I am nowhere near the caliber that Billy is, and I feel like I wish I could just really get good at one or two, like playing an instrument, or like Jared said, like language, or knew how to fly a plane, something. Like, not that I know how to fly a plane a little bit. I mean, I do because I play video games, and I feel like if we're going down, I could at least land it. I think so.
I think that's the important part.
I think so. I mean, right? I can land it. Sure. Flaps.
Nah, I don't know if the flaps do this.
This thing.
Wow.
The sticks, the trim. There's like a trim wheel thing. There's flaps. We're still talking about a plane, Jensen? I don't know. I just think you guys would be safe if I had to be there. I got you.
I'd let you land my plane.
No, never mind. I'm gonna stick with the guitar. Thanks. Gosh. Just derails so quickly.
And we're back.
Hi.
Hi, my name's Mary. I'm from Michigan. I was going to ask if it was difficult for you to come to these conventions and still have the supernatural show fresh in your mind with your new projects, but just watching you guys up here is so cute. But that's clearly not an issue.
You mean manly and treacherous. You mean rugged and roguish, I think.
It's just so cute watching you guys right here.
You pick a different adjective.
My question now is, if you could pick a season for each of you that was your favorite, like what was your favorite season that you guys did? And that's why?
I'm going to say two things. One is the truth that I've answered before. Season 4 was pretty special for me, for many reasons. But I will go another season. I mean, how do you pick? But I think another season I had a lot of fun, and even though it was it seemed daunting, was season 6. That was soulless, and I had a lot of fun. I remember going. Because Christy did the first 5 seasons, and then Sarah took over. And I remember I was in LA for some reason, and I went to the writer's office and hung out with Sarah, took her a bottle of wine and champagne or something to say like, congratulations, we're on the show and this and that, and what's the show about? And she's like, so get this, you do come back from hell, but you're soulless. And I was like, what? I don't even know how to start preparing for that. So I was able to spend the hiatus preparing, and then I had a really damn good time doing it, and so I'll go with 6.
I kind of lost count after about 4. So from like 5 to 15 is like all kind of one big season. So that season, 5 to 15.
It was a good season.
It was a good season.
One of those good old 200 episode season.
No, I think that was really the arc, you know, from 5 to 15, I think really spoke to me. It was a long one, but we got there.
What was your favorite?
I think like my first favorite, the 1 through 4 were my favorite. Not that they were not good, but I just love that you guys went out and you did, like each episode was a little different one. That was my favorite.
I literally picked the complete opposite from her. There were 2 options. There was 1 through 4, and I picked 5 through 15. And then she was like, cute. Again, you're being cute, but you're wrong. It's 1 through 4. Which, well played.
Bravo.
Well played.
Thank you so much. Hello.
Hi, my name's Kylie. I actually have 2 questions. My first question, my aunt wants to know, Jensen, what kind of conditioner do you use?
Conditioner?
Yes, conditioner.
I don't know, whatever Danielle has in the shower.
Okay, and then my second question would be, it is my birthday weekend, and I was really hoping, since I don't think anyone would mind, if you would sing for me.
Not technically a question.
She said, would you?
Well, okay, everybody, ready? Want to pick a key here?
It's Kylie, right? Kylie.
There, we're here. Come on, you can be here. There. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. What was your name? Kylie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Happy birthday. By the way,
El Nortino back here just giving it to us. All right. Hey.
Jensen pulled a wily veteran move on that. So for those out here who haven't experienced the same situation, always start happy birthday with the lowest possible register. Because if you start like, happy birthday to you, then it's like, happy birthday. It just gets really quiet for that final happy birthday. It's sort of like aclimatic.
Or like that's when you need to clear your throat. Happy
Wily veteran move. Happy birthday, Kylie. How are you?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Cam. I'm from here in New Orleans. So
Yes, you are. Yeah.
So, all right. So out of all the bad, awful decisions and ideas that he made throughout the...
I like this. I like where you're going. I like where you're going.
I mean, you too, but...
Whoa. Stay on target. Stay on target.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you too.
Yeah. Getting out of this, so... Jensen, which one out of anyone would you say would be the most frustrating? When I say frustrating, like sitting there watching it yourself, and fussing and cursing and yelling at the TV like pretty much all of it. Kind of moments.
I feel like she spent some time fussing and cursing and yelling at Dean Winchester.
Here's what I get. This is coming from a place that we might need to unpack.
Yeah, so you, Jensen, sitting there watching Dean do something just obviously wrong. Which one would be the most frustrating?
Can I just say favorite question ever? Can I say it? Can I put it out there? Yes,
I love the fact that she's like, oh, he didn't mean to do that. Oh no, he's got to be kicking himself right now. Has he seen this? Has he seen this? Has he seen this? Because he can't be happy with the way this performance. He made this choice, and he's got to live with this now. Oh, poor Jensen. I feel bad, but hey, you too. Kind of lucky. Your hands are clean. Gosh, I love that she just assumes that I watch the TV and go, poor choice. Gosh, why? Never make that face again. Dean, you idiot. Oh, Dean, I could just throttle you right now. Luckily, I don't do that very often. Stop.
I
don't believe you. No, I will say,
as if you were someone else, not Jensen watching you. Pick one of those. Can you think of one?
I know, man. I'm putting on the spot here. Yes.
First one from mind.
There are definitely moments where I'm watching, where I'm like, ooh, don't make that face again. That is not helpful. That does not tell the story, and that is damaging to your career. And I shouldn't have eaten those tacos, really.
Okay, I'll take that answer.
Thank you for that. That was amazing.
Here's the problem. Somebody's going to send me a video of what just happened, and I'm going to look at it and go, come on, Jensen! Head in the game, pal!
Hi there. Beat that.
I'm Todd. I'm from Mississippi, and I was wondering, Jensen, you played both Red Hood and Batman in the DC animated universe. Which one did you enjoy being more? And Jared, if you could be someone in the DC animated universe, who would you want to be?
Good question. I mean, look, Red Hood was really cool, and that kind of opened the door for Batman. But I think definitely a little boy dream of mine was to actually get paid to say, I'm Batman.
In fairness, you already had been played to say, I'm Batman.
But I wasn't Batman.
But you thought you were.
But I wanted to be.
That was happening.
And so I think I was literally checking a box both for Jensen and Dean Winchester. And I've gotten to do it a couple of times, and I just signed on to do another one. So.
I think it's as much fun as I've had doing whatever sort of voiceover ER type stuff that I have done in the past. I think I'll leave it to the pros. I've met a few really talented actors and actresses who are in the voiceover world, and it's one of those things where, like, yeah, I'd love to, I grew up playing basketball. I'd love to try and play in the NBA. Then you play in the NBA and you're like, I'm not going to play in the NBA. It's very different. It's very, very different. I've done 400-something episodes of television in front of the camera, and then doing stuff like with the supernatural anime or whatever behind the camera. You're like, oh, this is totally different. And so I'll leave that to the pros, and I'll just watch it. Thanks a bunch, man. Thank you.
Hi. Excuse my voice, sorry. I got a little too hard the last couple of days, especially at karaoke. I kind of pressed my throat.
Welcome to New Orleans.
I'm Leanne. I'm from California, and I don't take up too much time, but I just wanted to say thank you guys, because I was promised myself I would. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here today at all. So thank you. My question, however, to end on a high note, is what is your guys' favorite improv moment on the show?
Favorite improv moment on the show? There were many.
I mean, Eye of the Tiger.
Like season 15 or like 14? Like 14?
Eye of the Tiger was pretty epic. Just a total accident that is now like a great meme, GIF. I still am not certain.
Jif is peanut butter, bro.
Jiffy is peanut butter. GIF. What does it mean? What does it stand for?
Graphical.
Okay. All right. GIF.
What?
Graphic interface.
Interface. Yeah, graphic internal fart. That's
accurate as well.
That helps you remember it.
I probably was Eye of the Tiger, but I also remember one time, I forget what the episode was called, but I think Sam was maybe the Meg demon, and finally the demon gets exorcised, and Dean leans, we're in Bobby's house, and Dean leans over and punches Sam, and Sam is clueless as to why Dean just punched him. That wasn't scripted, that was just something that he and I were like, this would be a funny, like, out, we call it the button. Like we were saying, like, hey, we're shooting a scene, but I don't really have a button. That means like, hey, we need something, a look, a line, a reaction that we can cut and go to commercial. Because otherwise, sometimes scenes don't really end definitively. And so that became the button, and I just enjoyed watching it. That was one. Riding those in changing channels, those little battery-powered Vespa scooters were ours. We're like, hey, can we ride these around? They were like, fine, do it. We're like, they're gonna roll camera, let's do it. And so we went to our trailers and got our little Vespa scooters and rode those around. So there's so many impromptu moments. It's difficult to pick out one, but I would certainly go Eye of the Tiger for my number one.
This isn't a big moment or anything, but just because of what it then set off. And I forget again what episode it was. Very, very beginning. It might have been Dead in the Water. It was when the little cocktail sausages, and Dean reaches up and grabs and just starts eating. Those were not to be eaten. That wasn't in the scene. I just thought that was something that this character would do. Is there's food put out. I don't want to be rude. You should probably eat this stuff. And I guess then the writers saw that. They were like, he's going to eat all the time. And then I did.
That cocktail sausage scene also was the very beginning of the graphic internal fart.
Which you can see if you look closely. You just see Jared go like this. Right.
That's why Sam was always thinking. I don't know.
Comes to this. Thank you. Thank you. Hey there.
Hi y'all, I'm Paul from Michigan. So Sam and Dean's relationship with the father was complicated at best, and y'all later had Bobby step in and try to fill the role. So if Sam and Dean could only save one between Bobby and their dad, who would they pick?
I think, well, after the airing of 15, that wasn't clear to me. So you're still vacillating. I would say, as it stands now, I would say Bobby, because I think Sam and Dean got what they needed from John when Jeffrey Dean came back, and we had that episode with Jeff and Samantha Smith. I feel like the boys, there's some bit of, being parents ourselves, both having 3 children, and there's a point where you kind of realize, like, one of these days, it's not my job to be around forever. It's my job to make sure that they can handle themselves when I'm gone. Whereas you still, hopefully, are lucky enough to have somebody in your life who's got your back no matter what, who's a father figure. But I think, again, going back to our friend from Houston's question about how would you change the barn scene, and me saying it's kind of beautifully tragic, I feel like it's beautifully tragic that John is gone. But that's what forced Sam and Dean to grow their own wings and learn to fly, because if Dad was there, they'd still defer to Dad. But since Dad is not, they have to go off on their own. And Bobby could be there as a friend, as a father figure, as an uncle, but wouldn't have that kind of dynamic of also being our father.
I think Dean would want his dad, but I don't think that would be the right choice. I think that Dean, you look at those earlier seasons, and he had this real need for his father. He really, really missed him and longed to have his dad back in his life, and that was something that I think really hit him hard and carried with him. And he kind of had to step up to the plate and just move on and get it done and become the man that he ended up becoming, which I think benefited him. And having Bobby be what he was to Dean, I think was better for his growth as a character. So as a fan of the show and the character, I think that Bobby would be the right choice. But I think from a character's perspective, Dean would always choose his father because he didn't get to finish that ride with them. And I think he always desired to finish that ride and that journey with his dad.
I think that.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. I know what that means. You know what that means? I have an idea. That means it's the last question. 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 One more question. It's the last question. No more after this. This is it. It's the last question. I can bring it down to that. Last question. It's the last question. It's the last question. It's the very last question. It's the last question.
I think you got robbed with, this is it. Okay, New Orleans, can we have housewives actually? I want Jamie, our friend, to see, yeah, go Jamie. If someone is there with the lights, the switch, I'm all behind you. The lights. If not, no big deal. Jamie, welcome. Where are you from?
Mississippi.
Jamie, go Mississippi.
Jared, how do you spell Mississippi?
M-I-S-S-I-S-S-W-B-I. Dang, I got it wrong.
See?
When did you join the Supernatural family?
When I was in 8th grade, so right when it started.
Wow. Thanks, Jamie. See you later. Welcome. You can kind of see what we were saying, but you got a lot of family members out there with you. So what is your question?
So, are y'all all hat, no cowboy, or do y'all actually know how to ride a horse?
All hat, no cowboy.
I like that.
Take that 8th grade.
I can indeed ride a horse. And this year I learned, before season 1, I learned to rope from horseback, which is...
All right, show off.
This guy also...
Braggadocious over here. Yeah. But I actually joined the rodeo circuit earlier this year.
I can wrestle to the ground. Oh, my bare hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Barrel race.
Not only can I ride, I can wrestle horses with my bare hands. Tie them up.
Why did you push it down? Then it tackled the horse and went, stay down!
That's how I do it.
You had to get out there and
I got there quite a bit during...
kick the dust off those boots.
Yeah.
Walker.
Yeah, Genevieve's a very, very good horseback rider. Grew up doing a TV show about a horseback rider. And we had a horse, yeah, and we had a horse in LA for several years, but she was much better than I was. And certainly before my walker training, Jensen was better than I was. I've done a lot of training since then, a lot of horseback riding, but I could ride, I just hadn't done it a lot.
I used to ride a lot more than I do now. Back in there was a show called Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, I'm listening.
And this would have been before you were born. But when I was doing that show, I used to live right next to the Equestrian Center in Los Angeles, and my off days, which I had a lot of them, maybe a couple days a week, I would always go over there and help the wranglers over there exercise their horses. So I rode quite a bit then, but hadn't in a long time. And then I just went and did this Western in Santa Fe, and I get up on a horse and I'm like, oh, it's like riding a bike. And I took off on this horse and I was like, no, it's not like riding a bike. I need help, and everything hurts. But by like week 2 of filming, I literally would get on my horse in the morning and I just wouldn't get off. Like they would, in between setups, rehearsing other scenes, they're like, "Just you can get off." I'm like, "I'm good. I'm good. I gotta hang here with Spanky." No joke, that was his name. So I got pretty good pretty quick over the past month, and I told Jared, I was like, "Listen, if I'm gonna come direct Walker, I will be doing it from horseback."
He legitimately said that, and I was like, okay, fine.
I'm gonna need all the monitors raised up.
Yeah. And you barrel race, you said? Yes. Very cool. Jamie from Mississippi. Thank you
for your last question.
That was the last question. That was the very last
And then we're going to come back with another panel. Lucifer himself will be back again. And so we'll see you in a little bit. All right. Go get some water. Just pan yourself down.
The spritz.
We'll see you in a bit.